morning. This is the cheat sheet for Thursday, December 22nd, the last one of the year. We've got to cover some ground real quick. I want to thank, by the way, a listener who sent a note to me yesterday, actually reminding me of one of the big calls I made on the stock market coming out of the end of September. Using historical analysis and applying it to our current conditions coming out of September, I mentioned that there was greater than a 90% chance that we would be up in the fourth quarter of the year in the stock market. You know, we had been down overall through the first 3 quarters of 2011, and he pointed out to me that, hey, we're more than 10% higher in the fourth quarter, and we're almost done with the year, so, you know, thank you, and I appreciate it. Above all else, what I want to be is helpful, and, you know, I try to take credit here and there, not even for ego's sake, though I do like being right as anybody else does, but what I'm actually trying to do is be helpful, and, you know, some of the most important calls I've made, and the ones I pride myself most in, are the ones that involve your money, finances, small business, because that's where my passion is, and that's how you, wherever you are in your life, can change the game for you, knowing what to do with your money, knowing how to get it right. That's why we walked through the financial crisis in 2008 together, and I try to keep you ahead of the curve successfully there. That's why I told you the day the stock market was coming back in March of 2009. You know, so these are the things. I really pour a lot of energy into trying to get it right, and I'm always thrilled when it plays out that way and when you can benefit from it. Let's talk a little bit about some of the politics here. You know, I've been doing the weekly roundup in President Obama's re-election odds, the GOP field. First off, real quick, in a running average of all the polls, President Obama's approval ratings up to 47%. Actually, the highest it's been since July 14th, and that's kind of a big deal at this point. He's up 4 points in 2 weeks. What's going on in Washington seems to be benefiting him, and more to the point, when I apply historical analysis to the current numbers, what we're looking at is that President Obama has actually risen his re-election odds to about 59 or close to 60%. So, you know, the odds are now in his favor as we enter 2012 here pretty soon. Let's take a look at the GOP field real quick. A lot of people say polls are worth what you pay for them, and I agree. If you take a look at just one poll and try to deduce something from it, I think you have a very high margin of error. I look at a running average of all the polls, and again, apply history to it. And when I do that, interesting thing, 4 years ago on this date, guess who was leading the Iowa caucus polling? Mike Huckabee with 30%. Second, Mitt Romney at 25%. Well, as you probably remember, Mike Huckabee did win the Iowa caucus, and what was his number? 34%. Pretty close to the 30 he was polling at this point. Who finished second? Mitt Romney. What was the percent? 25, the exact same number in a running average of all the polls on this date 4 years ago. And it stands to reason that an extra 4% would have broken for Mike Huckabee, because typically who's leading or who has the momentum, some of those late undecideds tend to break in their favor. So history holds up. And so where are we now in the Iowa caucus polling? Well, Ron Paul, yes, Ron Paul is leading the Iowa caucus polling right now, and a running average of all of them, 24%. Second, you're taking a look right now at Mitt Romney at 20%. And Newt Gingrich third at 17%. Obviously, we shall see, but history does say that these poll numbers, they mean something right now. Yeah, there's quite a bit I could cover, but I want to take time. I got the physical cheat sheet. Check out everything else there. God bless. I hope that, you know, it has been a wonderful year for you despite the tough challenges. And thank you for coming to the cheat sheet. Really hope that you've been able to take a lot out of it. You can always go into the complete archive, see everything I put out for the entire year. You can go back 3-4 years, I think, in my cheat sheet, and the archive is going to go deep enough. I'm going to try to get it right next year. It's going to be an exciting 2012, no doubt, and we'll be here for it. God bless. Season's greetings. You know, and man, we'll see you back. It's going to be January 3rd. That's the Tuesday, and that's Iowa Caucus Day. We'll see you then.